What's up guys, back with another render reboot tutorial. I'm going to show you how I created this rendering using Twinmotion. Let's get right into the video. Okay, so first off, what you're looking at here is a 5-story mixed-use development building. It was modeled in Revit 2026 and rendered in Twinmotion 2026.1. We have several different things working for us. We have some assets that we pulled from Sketchfab. We also have our cars that we pull from Twinmotion. We have some decals that you can find in Twinmotion. And we also have our lights that is helping us as well. And you can find this in the lighting tab here in our library with the different options of lighting. Okay, so we have a lot of things happening, but stick around because I'm going to show you the exact steps, the exact settings that I use to get the results that I got using Path Tracer. So don't forget to hit that like button for me and hit the subscribe bell. All right, so let's create our image. Right now I have it labeled as day render. Let's change that name because we're gonna actually create a overcast render rather than a day render. All right, so we just renamed our image here. And first step, let's go to our environment tab. And as you can see, we have HDRI and we have HDR environment Skydome. In our preview, we have noon clear 01. I want to change that to a overcast HDRI to switch the mood a little bit. Right now it's looking sunny, we have clouds going, and that's not the particular look I want to make for this particular rendering at this time. And let's go to library, skies, and in our search bar, let's type in overcast. We're going to choose MOAF overcast 03. We drag that onto our viewport here. All right, so as you can see, that changed a lot. They changed our lighting to our shadows and the overall mood of our 3D scene, which is fine. You'll start to see as I add more detail that you'll start to see the reason why I did what I did to get the results that I've gotten using the overcast HDRI. And let's go to intensity here. So let's start changing up some things. So our intensity right now is at 1.00. Like that's 0.65. Let's rotate our HDRI to 325. Okay. So for our directional light, let's match our HDRI. Let's go to details. We'll keep our reflection at 0.92. For our season, because we have an overcast, I want it to include some type of rain element to it. So for our season, let's slide all the way up to the midpoint of the umbrella here. And as you can see, that created some puddles and gave us a different effect, which to me looks really good. So now that we have that, we'll make some more adjustments. We can go to details here and we can increase our surface effects. So for wetness right now is at 0.0. Let's do 0.2. And we can increase our puddle size as well as, let's make it 0.2. Okay, so right now our vegetation growth is at 0.38. And if you're wondering exactly what that controls, it will control our trees here that's closely up to the facade of our building, and just kind of show you what that looks like. So you can increase it there, but we don't want to cover our windows. So let's bring it back down to 0.38. That way we still have some of our windows showing here. So that looks good. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button for me and hit the subscribe bell. All right, so now that we have that, let's go to camera and let's uncheck auto exposure. And right now our scene looks blown out, which we need to adjust our exposure here. So right now our exposure is at 11.37. Let's make it 9. Okay, so our white balance is at 6900, which is a little warm. Let's bring it down to 6800. For our local exposure, let's enable that. And for our highlights, let's increase that. And let's increase our shadows as well. Let's make that 0.75. So our focal length we have at 19. Let's increase that to 25. Let's get a closer up look. Let's back up. Well, we'll back up. We'll make some adjustments to our camera. Let's go to details. So our vignetting is at 50%. I don't want our corners that dark. Let's reduce that to 25%. Let's check mark parallelism. So for bloom flares, we can increase our intensity. Let's make that 0.10. And we have different textures we can use. We can keep it at default, or you can change it to synthetic. And keep it at default for now. So the lens flare, we can increase that. And it's a little hard to tell what's happening, but those lens flares actually make some adjustments to our lighting, especially the ones down here, and it gives it a different effect. Okay, so now that we have that, we can go to render, and right now our rendering and path tracer is at 256 samples per pixel. Let's increase that to 1024. Increase our max bounce to 15. Let's leave our emissive materials checked and our denoiser checked. Our fireflies is at 8. We can keep it there. So here's the fun part. Let's get into FX. Let's start playing around with our contrast, our saturation, our clarity, and our sharpness. And you'll start to see our image take shape. I can zoom out just a little bit. Okay. So for our contrast, let's make this 54%. Our saturation, 60%. Increase our clarity to 25%. And our sharpness, I don't want to sharpen it too much, but we can make that 15%. So just to kind of show you a little bit what clarity does, I can increase that, and it just increased the clarity of the image. But if you raise it too high, the image starts to gets darker, and it looks overbearing. So for me, I'm going to keep it at 25%. All right, let's go down to LUT. Right now in our lookup table, we can make adjustments. We can go to none and we can pick a different filter. The filter I want to choose, just kind of show you what it does to our image. So nothing's happening right now. At first I was trying to figure out what was going on. That's because our intensity is at 0%. So if we raise our intensity, say 100%, you'll start to see the different filters. So I didn't have that on at first. So you can try different ones to help match your scene. I'm going to go with device 4. And you can get some pretty good results. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button for me and hit the subscribe bell. All right, so we'll choose device 4. Okay, and that looks pretty good. So here we can check mark our tiled rendering, and for our image here we can change the output size. Right now it's at full HD. You can make it a 4K, 8K, or 16K, whatever your computer allows, and how much memory you got as well. So let me go back to camera. And I think the image turned out very well. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. And that was pretty much all the steps that I've took to get the results that I've gotten. Okay, so I told you guys that I would show you how I added the background for this exterior rendering, and I'm going to show you quickly the prompt and the end results. So I went to Nana Banana and I have different option here, but this is the prompt that I used and I had to make some adjustments to it. So let's go to assets and favorites. So if I click on this one, this is the final rendering where you can see the background here, and you can see the people and the vehicles. Even though I rendered and I had 3 assets from Twinmotion vehicles in there, I wanted my prompt to include to enhance these vehicles and a background. So I believe that's what actually set off the scene of having this background and having the cars. So even though the tail lights are lit, you probably typically wouldn't see the tail lights that bright or the headlights, but I think that overall the scene came out pretty good. So the prompt that I used was enhance this architectural rendering to sharp, photorealistic, high quality resolution output with crisp detail throughout, no blur or softness anywhere in the image, improve materials on the building facade, glass, brick, and metal, as well as vehicle paint and ground textures for realism, add pedestrians at accurate human scale, approximately 5.5 to 6 feet, relatively to the building's ground floor, windows and doors walking naturally on the sidewalk, add park and passing cars at accurate real-world scale relative to the building and pedestrians matching standard sedan SUV proportions, add a realistic background environment, turn on the vehicle headlights, taillights with a red lens flare glow behind the taillights, keep the entire image in sharp focus with consistent high resolution detail. Do not blur or soften any area including background elements. Do not change the building design, geometry, or proportions in any way. So by giving Kriya that prompt for this particular rendering, it kept the integrity of the actual design that I modeled in Revit and rendered in Twinmotion, and it simply just placed the pedestrians, the cars, and the background and enhance the materials. in return, I got a very good rendering out of it. Of course, there could be some adjustments made, but I am happy on how these results came out. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll be back with another one.